Hello, Church of Christ the Redeemer. I'm standing here looking at an empty church, and I'm missing all of you. So I'm just imagining you sitting in your normal seats. This is certainly an unusual time for us. Lent, of course, is 40 days, the same time that Jesus spent isolated in the desert. It turns out that during the last plague in the mid-17th century, ships were held out of port for 40 days. The Italian word that was used to describe that period of time is quarantine. We are all quarantined right now together, so Lent has found us in a new way. Today is the feast of St. Joseph, March 19th. It's sort of a little springtime in the middle of Lent. And there's a couple of images that strike me on this feast that are helpful for us today as well. The gospel, of course, for the Feast of St. Joseph comes from Matthew's gospel. Matthew tells the Annunciation story not to Mary, but to Joseph. But Matthew is writing in a very critical time for his church. It's the time after the temple was destroyed. The early Christian community could no longer gather in their normal place of worship. Because that's happening to us again today. Joseph, in the story of Matthew's gospel, is called a righteous man. And we usually think of righteousness as following the law. But in fact, to follow the law would have been to stone Mary. So Joseph did not follow the law. Turns out that his righteousness is credited because he believed that God was present even in the critical chaos and scandal that had appeared in his life. Maybe God can also bring good out of this crisis. The other image that Matthew tells us is that Jesus was born at home, not in a stable as he was in Luke's gospel. So again, now that we are at home, we might discover God's presence in the domestic church rather than in the church where we normally gather to pray. During this time, we're experimenting with some ways of reaching out to you. We recorded Liturgy of the Word for last Sunday, a podcast, as well as Taizé prayer for Tuesday night. Today, I videoed the Mass for the Feast of St. Joseph, and that will be online later today. The audio wasn't great, but the liturgy was nice. There's also a podcast of the homily available on the webpage and our Facebook page. We hope to video Mass this Sunday, but again, we intend to record it Saturday evening so we can tidy it up if we need to. So that'll be our normal practice on Sundays with some possible other videos and podcasts during the week. You can check the Facebook page as well as the Christ the Redeemer webpage for the latest details. Obviously, as all of you are experiencing, as we're not able to go to work, some people are experiencing economic difficulty. Surely for the church, we're not taking up collections these Sundays. So we are living out of our savings, which we have adequate savings to get us through this time. But we're hoping that if you're able to contribute to the support of the church, that you'll be able to do that for us. There's a couple of ways you can do that. You can mail in your envelope if you'd like, or drop it off to the church. You can also give online. If you go to the Christ Redeemer webpage, ctredeemer.org, under We Give, you'll see an online giving option. You can register and make a regular contribution. You can even just give a one-time gift as a guest. If you go to the bottom of that same page, you'll see the CSA link. If you click on that, you can also give through the CSA. I just checked this morning, and you can make a contribution to the 2019 CSA campaign, which means that money will come back to the parish 100% without any diocesan tax attached to it. So that's a very good way to make a contribution right now. Going forward, we're anticipating that we will not be able to gather during Holy Week. For Palm Sunday, we're planning to do a modified Passion. I'm hoping to sing the Gethsemane song. We hope to video Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and an Easter Sunday service. Again, I invite you to continue to check our Facebook page and our web page. As we go forward, we'll be able to give you up-to-date announcements. I'm holding all of you in prayer, and I ask you to do the same for one another.